اللهم صل على فاطمة وأبيها وبعلها وبنيها والسر المستودع فيها بعدد ما أحاط به علمك.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم والعن أعداءهم أجمعين. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. اللهم عجل لوليك الفرج الشريف يا وارث الفدق والبقية المقدس بحق فاطمة الزهراء وبحق أهل البيت عليهم الصلاة والسلام. Respected scholars, elders, youngsters, brothers and sisters, audience, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Commonly we utter the words Allahumma ajil li waliyyekal faraj al-sharif and are of the opinion that we are praying to Allah to relieve the troubles of our Imam, which is a good thing. However, we need to realize that by praying for the Imam, we are actually fulfilling an innate need within us. Just as we saw in the parable of the ailing person in episode 1. And we admitted that the du'as for our Imam are a service that we wish to offer to him. Because let's face it, whether we pray for him or not, Allah has already given him the preference and the best of all things. He does not need our du'as. Rather, we need these du'as because through them, we gain brownie points to be with the Ahlul Bayt alayhimu salatu wassalam and to be accepted by them as their followers. So these du'as are for us rather than for him. And this brings us to the third stage of our discussion. Whose relief are we seeking in this dua al-Hujjah? Imam's, ours, or both? Let's examine the hadith, the narration number 4, recorded in Kamaluddin, chapter 45, that Imam Sahib Zamaan al-Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam himself says, أكثر الدعاء بتعجيل الفرج فإن ذلك فرجكم. Pray more for the hastening of reappearance because in it lies your salvation. So Imam here has actually shown us that our relationship with him is a two-way traffic. Why? Because we must understand that the Imam has open wounds that are still bleeding, that comprise not only of the atrocities that have befallen Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his grandmother Sayyida Fatimeh al-Zahra salamullahi alayha, his forefathers and his fathers, but also all the calamities that have befallen and continue to befall his followers and the believers. And Imam knows that this situation of oppression will only get worse unless and until he reappears to set right the wrongs and save the nations. To back this up, narrations state that one of the titles of Imam al-Mahdi salamullahi alayha is al-Muntazir, which means he too is awaiting for his advent and he also is praying to Allah to hasten it, and he's asking us to pray for it as well. Why? Isn't his dua enough to be heard by Allah? This is because Imam wants us to realize that through this prayer, all the sukoon that we have in the dunya is temporary and diminishing, and it is not the actual peace. The actual peace will be when he is among us and when he establishes his realm. The third reason why this dua in actuality is a relief for us is because in this world where we're weaved within the web of hopelessness and where we tend to lose all hope and direction, this dua reminds us of our aim, our goal and our priority in life, which is to actively and proactively await the relief that serves the purpose both ways. There's a hidden aspect of tawalli and tabarri here, and we leave you to put on your thinking caps and ponder over it. You can DM us if you've come up with a notion. We therefore establish that the relief of the Imam in reality is our relief. And now that we have an understanding of what this supplication is all about, how it affects us, and the reasons we should be reciting it, let's dive into the ocean of knowledge where we shall pick a few droplets of some insight into this dua, so that we have an even better understanding of what exactly we are pledging and what we are wishing for. It's time to zoom into the bigger picture. The supplication starts with the powerful words, Allahumma kun li Waliyyekal Hujjat ibne Hasan, salawatuka alayhi wa ala abaih. So we are all aware that here we are invoking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to send our salutations to Imam al-Hujjah, the son of Imam Hasan al-Askari, his father, and his direct forefathers who are all righteous. However, we overlook the expression of the main aspect of this profound statement, which is the words kun li waliyyek. So what is kun? If we dissect this prayer, we realize that actually the base of the entire dua is based on this word kun. It is such a deep expression that we can only try to summarize and explain it with the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Imam al-Hujjah himself. Since we are the people of Al-Qur'an and Al-Itra and believe that these are inseparable and complement each other and are incomplete without each other, as the Prophet asked us to hold on to them at Al-Ghadir, we therefore turn to Al-Qur'an to look for the meaning of the word kun. And as we have all memorized in Surah Al-Yasin, chapter 36, verse 82, إِنَّمَا أَمْرُهُ إِذَا أَرَادَ شَيْئًا أَنْ يَقُولَ لَهُ كُنْ فَيَكُونَ, which translates as all it takes when He, meaning Allah, wills something to be, He simply says to it, be, kun, and it is, and it becomes. فَيَكُونَ. However, here we are telling Allah, Allahumma kun li waliyyek. Oh Allah, you be for your chosen proof, or you become for your chosen proof. So we are actually invoking the attribute of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which relates to being, and within this one syllable, two-letter word kun, we are achieving two massive goals. First, by beseeching Allah, we are expressing dependency of all things on His sole power and might, as in Wallahu kulli shay'in Qadr, which indicates that we are professing our belief in Tawheed, Allah's oneness, His uniqueness, His existence, His power, and we are also reaffirming that we have accepted His lordship and the mastership of His chosen proofs, the Prophet and the vicegerents over us, clearly as it states, Waliyyekal Hujjah. This is an attestation of Tawheed and Adalah, Nubuwah and Imamah. And we shall see Qiyamah towards the end of the dua, inshaAllah. And the second thing we are implying through this term kun is that we are actually acknowledging the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He commands for Himself. In the Qur'an, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Al-A'raf, chapter 7, verse number 180 says, وَلِلَّهُ الْأَسْمَاءُ الْحُسْنَى فَادْعُوهُ بِهَا. And to Him, to Allah, belong the most beautiful names, so implore Him by them. Thus, in simple terms, through the word kun, we are actually beseeching Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through the Asma'ul Husna and His profound qualities in Sifat al-Subutiyya and al-Salbiyya to do what? We shall look at that in the next episode, inshallah. We can't go into the depths of all the Asma'ul Husna and Sifat al-Subutiyya and Salbiyya, because then we would be drifting off to an off-topic tangent. So inshallah, join us in the third episode where we shall pinpoint the particular attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and expound on them in relationship to Imam al-Hujjah alayhi wassalatu wassalam and his realm. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Allahumma ajil li waliyyekal faraj.